Okay, Welcome to the first official episode of Ringside Reality. My name is Jonathan Lilly, and I'm here with...
This is Chris White.
So we put up a little bit of a podcast earlier today online. It was, I call it the pilot episode, just was us messing around, trying to get the recording working out. It was like 40 minutes of talking, even though we were only supposed to do 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But
we'll learn how to trim it down eventually.
We're going to try to do one a week, hopefully, and kind of just shoot the shit. It's going to range in time from an hour till whenever we get sick of talking to each other, I guess.
Well, we'll try to keep it. I don't have if everybody else is like me, then they don't have the patience for much more than an hour.
Yeah, you're not going to sit there 2.5 hours listening to somebody bullshit.
Well, especially a couple of nobodies like us.
Well, and it's Monday, May 9th, and we're about, an hour and a half from Raw?
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah, about an hour and a half from Raw, so...
It doesn't seem to be too much for Raw tonight.
No, that's what our plan is for tonight now, is to watch Raw. We're going to talk a little bit about maybe what's going to happen on the show tonight. I'm going to try to look up and see if there's a card or...
There is. I got it here. It's not much, man.
What matches have they...
No matches
announced.
Nothing. It's just
no matches.
They're saying, will AJ Styles release his, I don't know, like his bad side or something, and who's going to take on Miz for the title, and is Rusev going to eat Kalisto's heart? I think that's all they basically said. I'm not even sure what that means. I think it's something to do with, I don't even know what that means. Like I think there was an interview with Rusev and Cole or something last week, and Rusev's new gimmick is that he eats people's hearts, I think.
They did, I think it was Rusev and Lana did the interview with Michael Cole. I didn't watch it, but I've seen clips of it online.
So, will AJ embrace his ruthless side?
I see you right there.
I don't know really, like, who care. I don't really care about that too much because I don't even know what that means, really. Like, I missed the end of Raw last week, so did I miss something here? Is this a continuation from last week or something?
Yeah, so last week, Gallows and Anderson had Roman Reigns, like, both of them had each one of his arms, and they handed AJ Styles the chair, and Styles was supposed to hit Reigns with the chair, and then he put the chair down, and then the Usos come in, attacked him with the chair. Then he picked up the chair and hit the Usos, and then Roman Reigns, seen AJ Styles attacking the Usos with the chair, flipped out and speared Styles and that kind of deal. I don't know. In my opinion, it made Styles sort of look... I've seen it done before. We've all seen it done before, where he's like a reluctant guy. He doesn't want to use a chair to win and all this kind of crap, right? But the way they gave him the chair and the way he looked... It looked like he was scared to death. It looked like he was like a 12-year-old kid. Like,
I'm sure
he just looked confused, and I was like, I didn't like how he reacted to it. But we've seen that before. We've seen that so many times. That gimmick of, the reluctant guy. He doesn't want to use like underhanded tactics to win, kind of deal. Usos and Reigns come off as the heels, in my opinion, with Anderson and Gallows. Like, AJ Styles seemed like the only.
They don't know how to do, like, the whole heel face thing is lost. It's a lost art. They don't know how to do it anymore because, well, first of all, whatever ruthless side that AJ shows, the main thing is make sure Roman looks strong, right? You gotta have Vince. He won't be too ruthless because Roman's gotta look strong, because that's basically what Vince lives and eats and breathes these days. Is don't do anything on TV that makes Roman look weak. So he's kind of just one of those things where whatever he does, Roman will still come out on top, I'm sure. But yeah, that heel face thing, I don't know. They've been doing it for a couple of years. A lot of stuff's been lost in translation the last couple of years of the fans not knowing who to cheer for, and it's happening again right now with this storyline because, I mean, Gallows and Anderson, the crowd kind of wants. At first, they got a pop, but they're kind of heelish. Like, obviously, they're heelish. They're trying to do underhanding tactics to get AJ the belt, which makes him a heel just by nature. If you're not letting AJ win clean, and he's getting help from someone, that makes you a heel. So AJ's this huge face who they're trying to push as a face, but they got him teamed up with two guys who are helping AJ cheat to win. So now the crowd's going, well, do I boo it? Like, AJ's cheating now, so do I boo him? But I like him so much, but he's teamed up with these two bad guys. It's just confusing again. Like, I'm always confused by the booking. it's the same again right now with this whole storyline, but yet Usos and Reigns are heelish. Like, Reigns wrestled that whole match at Payback as a heel, in my opinion. Even his facial expressions and everything. But so AJ's a huge face, and here he is teamed up with these two bad guys. Like, they're portraying Anderson and Gallows to be heels, in my opinion. And it's like, but he's teamed up with the crowd favorite. So I don't know. I'm confused again. Like, it's like the Shane McMahon Undertaker thing. Like, you didn't know who to cheer for, did you? So once again, I don't know who to cheer for. I'm like, well, I want AJ to win, but if I'm a kid or something, and I'm like, well, but those Anderson and Gallows are bad. They're mean. They're cheating, and I don't know. It's a what, can you explain this to me? Like, who's the heel of face here?
It does. There is none. Like, the crowd's gonna boo. The crowd's gonna boo Roman Reigns no matter what he does. And I mean, they're putting the Usos with Roman Reigns.
Well, everybody hates everybody hates Usos.
Well, number one, I've never liked the Usos.
Well, you always liked the Usos and R-Truth, right?
Oh yeah, they're my favorites. But I actually do know people that like the Usos. And
have you lost your virginity yet?
But I've never been a fan. I don't see any appeal to them whatsoever.
Honestly, I don't think it's that bad.
Sure,
it's the entrance.
They're talented guys, I'm sure, but the whole that crowd chant stuff.
It's the entrance that, like, once they get in the ring and start wrestling, you kind of forget who they are. They're pretty decent, but their entrance is just, it turns you off right away. It's so...
It seems so forced to me. I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but I think it seems forced.
Funnily enough,
making
it's like,
the crowd chant, right?
They always do that these days, too. It's like the Uso thing is the same thing as lucha. It's the same thing. Like, it's the exact same chant. It's just a different word. It's the exact same thing. But,
yeah.
So anyway, this Ruthless Side thing, don't know what's going to happen. Like I said...
Well, Extreme Rules is coming up, too, so they're kind of hinting to the fact that, you know, is AJ going to actually become this, like, extreme, ruthless guy who's going to use any means necessary to get the title?
But of course he will, because the whole point of the match is Extreme Rules. AJ's been around the block. He's not so stupid to go... He's not going in... Like, the first match he was going in saying, I want to win clean because it was a straight-up wrestling match. This match is an Extreme Rules match, and they're trying to say, will he go extreme? Well, yes, he will, by nature, because it's an Extreme Rules match. So, if anything, they should have done this for the first match when there was no extreme. Like, this makes no sense to me. Yes, of course, if the guy, put it this way, if he doesn't go extreme, then he's a horrible wrestler and he doesn't know anything about wrestling, because that's the whole point of the match, AJ. So, if he's reluctant to do it again, then straight up, the guy's an idiot. I mean, either you go extreme because that's the name of the pay-per-view, or what's he planning on doing? Going in there doing friggin' hurricanranas and splashes and stuff off the top rope? No, you gotta go in there and beat the crap out of someone with a chair. Like, I don't know. I missed the end of it. I'm not going to say too much because I didn't see it. I heard it was an okay segment, but we'll see what happens tonight, I guess.
Yeah, it was alright.
They're going to drag it on for, like, I'm hearing that this is going to go in our pay-per-view, this feud, probably till Money in the Bank.
I'd hope that the end game to this, I actually wouldn't mind seeing AJ Styles go full-blown heel. Like, just be, you know,
I don't know,
this is all an act kind of deal to lull Roman Reigns into a false sense of security and all this kind of crap, and then just see him go total Bullet Club New Japan style heel, where they were just like didn't care. There was no they didn't care about the authority, like any kind of authority, and they didn't listen to the rules and this kind of stuff. That's what I would like to see.
Maybe that's where we're going.
Because they could, I'm telling you right now, you can make AJ Styles a heel. It can happen. People are still going to cheer him. I mean, it's going to be like Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is a full-blown heel. People still cheer him, but he's still a heel. He's still one of those guys where you're like, man, that guy is an asshole as a character. But I love to see him in the ring. You can do it the same thing with AJ Styles. You can make him a total arrogant prick.
Well, they probably will. Like, they're getting Cena back too, which means that they'll open up a spot for a babyface. Well, I use that term loosely with Cena, obviously, because he's not exactly a what do you call it, a true babyface. But I don't know. Like, they got a lot of heels, and it's harder for faces to get over these days. And Styles is kind of like, I agree with you. I think he would be a good heel too, but I'm 50-50 because it's so hard for those guys to get someone over these days. Like, to get the crowd behind someone. It's like AJ's organically over. Why? Like, he's one of the only guys on that roster that gets pretty much 90% cheers. Why screw with it? Because everybody else is either 50-50, they're kind of like an in-between guy. He is over. He's over as a face, and they have trouble getting faces over. At least I can see the last few years. So I don't. I don't know why you'd mess with it, but
they're gonna do it because Vince loves Roman Reigns. He wants Roman Reigns as the next big face of the company, and he doesn't. They aren't cluing into the fact that people don't like him. They just think that he's the next John Cena, and that people are going to boo him and cheer him, and had the what do they used to call it? The polarizing crowd.
It's the same old thing
that John Cena used to have. That's what they're thinking. That's what I can almost see, like, picture Vince talking about it in my head, just saying like, oh yeah, he's the next John Cena. The crowd's gonna love him and hate him all at the same time. He's gonna get boos and he's gonna get cheers, and
Vince.
That's what they're going
Vince
for.
Thinks that people are gonna. Vince thinks that people hate Reigns so much, he thinks that this booing Reigns is like a gimmick now, and he thinks that people will buy tickets just to go boo Roman Reigns, which actually I don't even know might be accurate. I really can't say, but he's rolling with it because he thinks that. I know Vince thinks that any kind of reaction is a good reaction in his head. So as long as people keep buying tickets just to boo him, that's just as good as people buying tickets just to cheer him, lack the merchandising sale. Other than that, it's the same thing. That's what I think he thinks Roman Reigns is. But I don't know. The Reigns thing's kind of weird because guess what? Cena's coming back in like a couple of weeks or something, and it's hard for me to picture. I don't know what they're going to do with Cena. Are they going to put him down in the mid card to feud with someone, which they probably should because he's almost 40 and he's had his time. But when he comes back, like, are they going at Roman? I think they're going for like Reigns and Cena, like the ultimate feud, like Hogan and Macho or Bret and HBK or something like that.
They'll push that. But now you got to look at Rollins is coming back soon as well. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's cleared to wrestle, just that he's doing a little bit more rehab.
Don't forget about the old Viper will be back soon too.
That's what I mean. They got a couple of guys coming back that are decent names that they're going to push. So Rollins comes back. He can't be the heel that he was when he left. He's going to get a super huge pop when he comes back.
He's going to be a babyface.
Oh yeah, and but in my opinion, he shouldn't be. But he's going to be. Randy Orton should be brought back as a heel, in my opinion, as well. There's no way he can come back as a face.
Orton is just... You don't know what Orton's going to... I don't even know what Orton's going to do, because he kind of like has these characters every couple of years. He changes it. He tweaks it, I should say. He doesn't change it. But he never really gets fully into it. Like, you don't see him getting fully immersed into any character. He just kind of puts around and tweaks his character a little bit, but he never does it enough that anybody actually gets into him anymore, I don't think. Like, the last time I remember Orton being even remotely interesting was the when he had the what was it called, Legacy or something, and he was going around. Yeah, he was killing everybody at that time. But
it was him and Cody Rhodes and
DiBiase,
yeah, Ted DiBiase Jr.
But like, you notice Orton, like, I don't know, I think he honestly he's checked out, to be honest. Like, I think he basically, they said his recovery was going slower than expected. I'm pretty sure that just means he likes sitting on the couch and watching TV and don't want to come back. He just strikes me as that guy that doesn't have the. He's not the Cena type guy, which Cena comes back from a devastating year-long injury in like 3 days or something. Like, you know, Orton doesn't strike me as a guy that has the drive of Cena, and I'm pretty sure that's why Cena became the face of the company, because they were in competition back like 10 years ago and they picked Cena. But I think it was a good idea because I don't know, Orton just doesn't do it. Rollins, like I said, yeah, he'll be a baby face, and
I don't like. Well, I haven't seen Rollins as a babyface, so I can't really say it. But I liked him as a heel. I thought he played the chicken shit heel perfect.
Was the Shield ever baby faces, or were they always just heels that got cheered?
I think the Shield were just heels. Yeah, they were against like.
They always got.
No, they were.
They went against.
They were faces. But yeah. They were faces at a certain point because when Rollins turned on him, he went with the Authority.
Yeah, because they had a feud with the Wyatt family, didn't they? And they were full on faces, I think, at that time. I can't remember. Yeah. You have to correct me if I'm wrong. I can't really remember.
But they came out as heels first.
So yeah. He'll be back soon.
Because I think they were with the Authority first, weren't they? So what the storyline was that Triple H brought him in as his like bodyguards kind of deal, his enforcers, and then they got sick and tired of being bossed around and turned into faces.
I think.
But I don't think that lasted too long.
How is it? I remember stuff from like, I guess it depends on how much you're like invested in something. But I remember stuff like 20 years ago, but I can't remember what happened like 2 weeks ago. It's crazy. Like, is it just because I'm older and I don't have the nostalgia thing, or is it because I actually cared more about, like, I was more into it? I don't really know, but I can't remember stuff that happened like 3 weeks ago, man. I swear to God. Like, maybe it speaks to the product that they're actually putting on TV. Like, when a person can't remember what happened, like, last January or something, but you've watched it every week, I mean, that kind of speaks volumes, maybe.
I find it's with me, it's, I lose track of how long people have been around. So when they talk about...
Sheamus has been around like 25 years, man. You don't even realize it.
Yeah, like Sheamus. To me, when I think about Sheamus, I'm like, oh, well, he's been around, 5 or 6 years? But I think he's been around since like 2006 or something.
They said something on... at Mania when what's his name, Ryder won the title. They were like, "Oh, Ryder's been here 9 years." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, like that doesn't click in my mind, right?
I know, like I guess that's true, right? I lose track of time too. I just don't realize how long people have been around. But like it's crazy to think that Cena's been Cena for, I think this is 12 years now since he became like the guy, which is nuts. Like 12 years is.
Yeah, I think didn't he make his debut in like 2003 or something?
2002,
against
I think 2002 was when he actually came in.
2002,
but
against Kurt Angle.
By like 2004, he was basically catching fire, and by 2005, he was full on like biggest star in the company. But that's not 12 years ago, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at that in terms of longevity. When you think about the 80s, you think about obviously Hulk Hogan.
Well, he had a good 8 or 9 years.
But Hogan was big, like, what, 83? What, like, around when I was born, I think.
Hogan, well...
82, 83.
They say Hulkamania started the night that he won the belt at Madison Square Garden, which I think was 84, 83. And then he went till 92 when he left, and then Vince pushed a new generation. But the thing is, what happened...
You're looking at, he was 9 years,
But the difference is it's not really fair, because, like, you see, like, in 91, 92... it wasn't so much that Hogan kind of became like not the face of the company and stuff. It's that steroid scandal thing happened, which people kind of tend to forget about. That was a big deal. So all those musclehead guys, like Cena's never had to endure, and the biggest thing that he's had to endure was Benoit murdering his whole freaking family. But Hogan kind of got pushed out the door just because he was a big musclehead, and Vince had to get away from all that. I think Hogan probably could. Well, look what happened. He went to WCW, and a year later, he was the biggest star of wrestling again. I think it's just that Hogan would have stayed on top for like 20 years, man. I think it's a steroid scandal literally destroyed him and Warrior and all those people, which is probably a good thing because guess what? We actually got some decent main events and some decent matches after those guys left. Like wrestling fans, like I know the pop culture didn't care for as much, but as wrestling fans, once Hogan and Warrior and everyone went away, we start getting like classic matches and good matches for like the main event scene, which is the first time anyone ever seen that. You only see a decent match in the mid-card back in the 80s, and not even very many of them, really. So, it was okay, but... yeah, you know what's weird about Cena, though? Is he's kind of like Hogan, but you know how we were just talking about how Orton always kind of changed his character a little wee bit? See, has Cena ever changed one time? Has he ever changed his character since he became, like, since he got out of that rat gimmick back in, like, 2004? Has he ever... he never even tweaked it, did he? He's the same guy.
Yeah, he had the rap gimmick when he came in. He was the white rapper. He was the Eminem guy, you know. And yeah, he hasn't changed anything but the name of his finishers. That's all, really. He had the FU and the STFU.
I think he had to get rid of that he had to get rid of that, didn't he? Because they said...
yeah, and well, they went to PG, so he couldn't use FU anymore, so... they changed it to the attitude adjustment, so that was basically it. Then he got into the whole, like, the only thing he's really changed, he got into the whole army thing. I don't know what that's all about with him, like, saluting everybody and dog tags and stuff. I don't know.
It wasn't really a gimmick, though. It was just kind of like something he could sell. But he never changed his character once, which is actually, I don't know if that's a good... I give him credit, I suppose, but the fact that he's gone so long without even changing one thing, like, my God, not very many people can last that long off one gimmick.
And the only thing he's really added was that springboard stunner that failed horribly.
That was like the worst move of all time.
That he might, I think in all the time he did it, he hit it correctly once ever.
He does.
It was basically like he'd botch it every single time.
Well, because he's not like Cena's like robotic in the ring. Like Cena's like he gets a lot of heat for being a shitty wrestler. I don't think he's a shitty wrestler at all, really. I mean, the guy's had like countless 4-star matches. Now, of course, his opponents were good, but like he's just not. He tries to do stuff sometimes. You're like, no, just stick to your 5 moves, or because he's like, you know what else I hate? I know we're talking about. I don't want to pick on Cena too much here, but you can hear him calling his spots in the ring like no other wrestler I've ever seen. You can literally hear him the whole match going like off the rope, clothesline, back body drop, or something. You're like, what? Cena, shut up, man! Like everybody hear what you're saying. He's the worst.
He talks all the time. Man.
Yeah, but he's also
Botchamania has the whole everyone talks so much segment, and he's on it all the time.
Oh, he's brutal.
Dolph Ziggler is another one. Dolph Ziggler talks so much, man.
Dolph Ziggler needs to go hang himself, but seriously, like he's just a placeholder there now, just getting putting shitty feuds.
But for some reason, he beat Baron Corbin clean at Payback. For some reason, I don't know.
Like it's like they can't make up their mind. Like a few months ago, they're like, "Okay, Ziggler, like we're basically done with you. We'll just use you because you're a decent wrestler and you can put over talent, and make them look good." Then 3 months later, it's like, we'll have you beat Corbin. Who cares? Like they don't know what they're doing with him. So 1 minute, remember,
you're trying to push. You're trying to push Corbin. They should be trying to push Corbin as this monster, this young new talent who's a big guy. Like he's green as grass in the ring, yes, but if they're gonna,
Corbin needs to.
They can push.
He's not ready, man. Like I didn't remember last week we were talking about how like they need jobbers. I'm not saying he should be a jobber, but I don't think Corbin's ready at all. He comes off so green. I think he should just. He's belly button. We're gonna have a belly button segment every week where we talk about his belly button, man. That's the scariest shit I've ever seen in my entire life. But he's. I don't know. Like I don't think he's. I think he should just putt around for like a year or two and kind of gets. I don't think they'll kill him. If you don't give him anything important to do, you're not going to kill him. People don't understand what burial is. Burial is kind of like when you're built up. In order to be buried, you have to be up somewhere to be buried. So if you just get him, I just have him putt around for 6 or 8 months or a year, kind of like not really feuding, just win a few matches, lose a few, and then finally catch steam or something. I don't know. What do you think of him? I think he's really green, like really, really green.
Oh yeah, like I said, he's green as grass. But I mean, he wouldn't be the first guy they called up that was super green.
Where's Apollo Crews? Did he just disappear? Didn't he?
I don't know what he's doing, man. I think they're gonna try to push him hard too. But I don't see something about him. I don't catch something about him. There's something, and from what I've been reading online, there's a lot of people that agree with that. That there's something he's missing. He's missing that little it factor that the great ones have.
Well, he needs to have more than just a smile, because that's all he got right there.
He's excellent in the ring. He can wrestle his ass off. But like, there's something something there that I don't get from him. You know what I mean?
I tell you, like even in the ring, like he's a good wrestler, but he doesn't get me. Just because you're a good wrestler, you also have to get people involved in the match. He just doesn't catch me. Like, he doesn't grab me. Like he can go out there. I swear to God, man, he can go out there and do every single wrestling move ever done in 5 minutes and impress the hell out of. And there's just something about him. Unless he does something to make me care about him, I really don't care what kind of wrestling moves he does and how good he is in the ring. You know what I mean? He's like you just said, he's missing something. Like the guy can wrestle, but can he wrestle? If he can't get people interested in his match, he can go and do every friggin' move in the world. But unless people start caring about him, then he's not. No, he can't wrestle really. Like I don't know, he's missing something. I agree with you 100%. Something's off.
Well, like he's athletic. He has a look. Like he's in great shape.
He's black.
They could do a lot with him, but there's something, like I said, I don't know if it's his charisma, if he's not. I haven't even really heard him cut a promo. He cut like a somewhat of a backstage segment.
But he just comes out
a few weeks ago and it was horrendous.
Comes out smiles.
But, yeah, I don't know if he's just like. I don't know. There's something about him that I don't really get, but. Maybe they'll do something with it later on. I mean, they've done it with a few guys before where, the guys came in, they didn't really click right away, and then they repackage him in a few months, and then he...
There's lots of time.
That's like Baron Corbin, though. Like,
but nobody got any patience. Like, a huge problem WWE always had. And nobody got any patience anymore. Like, it's hilarious. If someone comes in and loses their first match, according to most people, their career's already done. They're like 22 years old. But, like, nobody's got any patience. Like, this, like you just said, Apollo Crews or Baron Corbin, they could be 4 or 5 years away from finding hitting their stride. You know what I mean? Like, just because they're not really, like, who knows what they're going to be. Look at The Rock, man. When Rocky Maivia came out at Survivor Series in '96 or something, you'd be lying if you said, like, oh yeah, that guy's going to be the biggest movie star in the world one day and he's going to be the top grossing wrestler of all time. No, you wouldn't have said that when Rocky Maivia came out. So you never know what you're going to get, I guess, but...
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of some of it's had her booked as well. Like, when was the last time they brought up somebody, though, seriously, and had them just, like, squash a bunch of guys and build them up that way? Remember, like, alright, let's say Goldberg. I was watching a thing on Goldberg a while back, and he was same deal, green as grass when they brought him in WCW. When he was being put in the main event to WCW, he had, like, a handful of matches, and he was already fighting for the world title. But they gave him so many of these like jobbers that he just destroyed that it made him look credible, even though he sucked in the ring.
Well, he never was good.
No clue about the rest.
That bill was perfect. That was
like
the best.
He had no idea what he was doing in the ring.
It worked.
But they put him in there. They made him look strong. So I don't see why couldn't they? Obviously not to do it to that extent. Obviously Baron Corbin was not going to be next goddamn Goldberg. He's not going to go fucking 250 or 300 or whatever. But
the thing is Baron Corbin is not even I don't even think he's in good shape. He's tall. That's about it. He doesn't come off as scary to me. The guy doesn't even look like he goes to the gym.
He's a big guy. He's big, but tall dude.
I guess I don't know. I think he just needs to buff up. But yeah, the Goldberg thing, that was people say the NWO was the best thing that WCW came up with. Not for me, man. That whole Goldberg build, if you go back and watch it from pretty much day one till it ended kind of when Nash beat him and finally ended the streak, which is one of the worst things in history of wrestling. But that build was perfect the way they did that. Because he couldn't wrestle. They had him wrestle in 30, 40 second matches. That was it. They just sent him out there, squash some guy in 30, 40 seconds because he couldn't wrestle. But it lit a fire.
The thing was, nobody cared. Yeah, nobody cared, right? I remember watching it and being totally okay with him destroying guys in 30, 40 seconds. I didn't have any problems with it whatsoever.
He was destroying Norman Smiley and shit. Nobody cares about Norman Smiley until Vince Russo came there and Norman Smiley was champion or something one time, I think. But that build was perfect. But these days it's harder to do that too because the way everyone, as soon as as soon as you start getting successful, everyone seems to turn on you these days. Nobody wants to. There's no patience for anything. But Goldberg was perfect.
And they turned on Goldberg eventually.
Well, they turned on Goldberg after
went a bit too far.
No, it was after Nash beat him. He was still he won the belt from Hogan at the Georgia Dome in the summer of whatever '98, I think it was. And he was super hot, man. And then 3 months later at Starrcade or something, of all people, Kevin Nash beats Goldberg and ends the streak, and he was never the same after that. Now, granted, it had to come to an end eventually.
No, because after that, he smashed the window, sliced his hand open, and was out for 3 or 4 months or something.
That was a good decision.
And I can't remember how long he was out. He's out for a while anyway. And a lot of people say that kind of killed him as well because his momentum kind of stopped, right? But no, that's what I'm saying. When was the last time somebody was built like that?
Trying to think of the last guy that came
nowadays. What's happening nowadays? All right, so Kevin Owens comes in, beats John Cena, biggest star in the company, beats him right away. Sami Zayn makes his debut against John Cena. His next debut was in the Royal Rumble. AJ Styles did it, Royal Rumble. Baron Corbin wins the Battle Royal. You know what I mean? These guys aren't being eased in.
No.
They're not being.
Well, look at it. Did you think of anyone?
I can understand AJ Styles. Okay, they wanted to skyrocket him to whatever he's doing now.
Trust me,
perfectly okay.
But it's not okay, really, is it? Look what you're doing. Slowly but surely, they're cooling off the pot that's boiling on the stove, man. Slowly, he lost a feud to Jericho technically because he lost the big one at Mania. That was the one that really mattered. He's lost his first match to Reigns, and you know that he's losing again. And you know if it goes 3, he's going to lose 3 in a row. AJ's not winning the belt off of Reigns. Not a chance. So he's going to lose this feud outright, probably 0-3. Eventually, people are going to start going,
it's just well from
he didn't beat
done,
Jericho.
Really.
And, well, I know, but that's what they're to your point. This is to your point. They're slowly doing it to him. What they did to all the rest of them, like you said. They don't realize, I don't think, but if this feud goes to Money in the Bank, the only way that they can keep Styles hot is by some miracle he gets the belt at Extreme Rules and Reigns wins it back at Money in the Bank, and then Styles isn't hurt too much because he got a win and he won the belt for a month. But I don't like hot.
Well, I don't see if that would be a bad thing.
But it's just a hot potato.
They can give him the belt for a week.
I hate that though. The hot potato with the belt. Reigns. That would make Reigns, if he won that Money in the Bank again, 5-time champion already. Hulk Hogan only won the belt 5 times in history of his career in WWE. So it's he does a good thing, but it's a bad thing at the same time. But anyway, no, I agree with you 100%. All these guys you just mentioned, Owens was the classic one. Came in and beat Cena, said, 2 months later, Cena beat him in the feud, won 2 matches to 1. And now Owens survived because, quite frankly, Owens, unlike Corbin and unlike Rusev, who was brought in strong and all these guys, Owens got something special about him anyway. He's really good on the mic. And he has this natural charisma about him. So no matter what they do to Owens, he's going to be okay, right? Because I don't think you can bury Kevin Owens. He's just too good. The guy on commentary is hilarious.
Yeah.
And same with Bryan. They couldn't do anything, and people would still care because they just couldn't bring him down. He was just too good to be brought down. But You know who? The only person I could think of seriously was Lesnar. When they brought Lesnar in, they pushed him to the moon, and they had like almost like a Goldberg thing going. Like he won the belt like 6 months after he came in, and like they had Lesnar chewing everybody up and spitting them out, right? And that's the last person.
I mean, that was back. That was back what 2002.
Friggin' man, that was like
2001.
Let's be honest, that was almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, but I don't know. I'm worried about Styles a little bit because I like how he's in the main event feud. I do like that, and it's an interesting kind of dynamic with the storyline that they got going on, because you have so many. It's not just AJ and Reigns, right? Like that's the main thing. Like that's the nuts and bolts of it. But there's also these other things going on with the Usos and everything. So Styles is staying kind of hot. But what do you do? Like, so do you think there's any chance that AJ wins this belt at Extreme Rules?
Man, you know what? I'd like for him to. I really would. But I can't see it happen. I honestly don't.
I can't see it happening.
I honestly see AJ Styles being used to push Roman Reigns.
And you know what?
And make Reigns better.
Feed him the Reigns.
Make Reigns look better.
That's what they're doing. They're feeding him the Reigns. That's what I see.
Yeah,
anyway.
That's what I could see. I see him being fed to Reigns, make Reigns look better, and then he's just AJ Styles is.
Where does he go?
I don't want it to happen, but I can see AJ Styles a year from now as IC champion.
He's gonna be a year. Yeah, I can see him. I don't. It's sad to see, really, because the guy is. I mean, he's the best wrestler in the company right now. I can't see how anyone can argue that. I mean, I don't know. He's. I don't know. Owens is the only other guy. It's Owens and Cesaro too, but Owens and AJ to me are the two best performers in the company right now. And it's kind of sad because I just see, like I said, I just see what AJ Styles just being kind of lost in the shuffle, feuding with like The Miz by next summer, or feuding with, just someone like The Miz anyway, like that kind of storyline going. What I see happening to him. I can actually see him getting fed to Cena too when he comes back.
I don't want it to happen. In my opinion, it shouldn't happen, but I can see it happening. It really all depends on what Vince's mood, really. I mean, if Vince sees something in him that, hopefully he does, then he might. Or how many people are in Vince's ear telling him, this Reigns thing is not working. Like,
they won't take the belt off Reigns. Not a chance. Because Vince, you know what Vince is like? He's surrounded by yes men, like Kevin Dunn and stuff. I guarantee you, I'm almost pretty... I'm not going to say 100%. I'm going to go with... There's about a 70% chance that he holds it till SummerSlam and then loses it. But if I was a betting man, I'd say Reigns got the belt till Mania next year. And he's going to take on either Rollins or Cena or someone... what is it? Triple Threat. The Shield are going to have a triple threat match at Mania for the belt next year. I think that's where they want to go with it, actually. But the original,
I can see that.
But anyway, I can't see him losing the belt because who's the only person that Vince would let him take the belt off him right now? Cena probably, and they're not going to do that match yet. In Vince's eyes, that's like friggin' Hogan and Andre or something. Like they're not going to do that match yet. So
I wonder what they're going to do with Cena. Honestly,
he should.
You think
he should be putting over. Like Cena's got. He's accomplished everything. So I don't want to say Jericho mode because Jericho basically turned into a jobber, but he should have him putting over young kids, shouldn't they? Have him in feuds with not young kids, but shouldn't he go in a feud like a Zayn for a couple of months or so? I don't know. Like give him something where someone can get the rub off him. I would think. What else would you?
I don't know who. Like it would be good to have like a young, hot heel that he could take on, but I mean, who's that? There's nobody really.
Who's a hotshot heel now? Owens, and they already did that.
Yeah, I honestly, and this is gonna be like horrible if they do, but I can honestly see Rusev beating Kalisto for the U.S. title, and then John Cena coming back and
they can't do that again.
Rusev again.
He's already buried Rusev like 6 times.
I know, but I could see it happening for some reason.
There's nothing after Cena was done with Rusev. Remember, I wrote you last year. Rusev. Who did Rusev take on at Mania? He was on a pre-show, right? I can't remember, but he wasn't on the main show. Now, I remember sending you a message saying it's funny. Last year at Mania, Rusev had an entrance on a tank, and he was like had this huge spectacle for an entrance, and he took on Cena. And this year he's on the pre-show. Like I remember his entrance from Mania 31, and it was like a huge spectacle, and 1 year later, he's on a pre-show fighting Ryback or something. You're like, oh my god. So Cena destroyed him. He destroyed his career, really. Or I shouldn't say Cena, because the WWE booked him to lose, but man, I tell you. That was another guy, though. Rusev came in strong, remember?
How many people have that happened to? Look at Tensai. Look at
oh god,
Brodus Clay.
That's the worst.
What was Brodus Clay?
Tensai Bros. Oh man, I remember when Tensai came in. I was like, oh my god. You know when you see a gimmick and in the first 2 seconds you're like, well, that's not gonna work. Like,
yeah, but the same deal. They brought him in against Cena, and that was it.
Cena's Mag.
What was it? What did Brodus Clay come in as? He wasn't always the dancing kind of deal. He was brought in as a fucking monster at first too, and it was the same kind of deal. I'm pretty sure he took on Cena and lost.
Oh, probably.
Umaga come in and took on Cena.
Yeah, he got buried.
There was a bunch of men that came in like that were just took on Cena, and that was it. They became mid-carders afterwards. And like I said, it's not John Cena's fault. I said this last week or the other day when I was talking on the podcast. It's not Cena's fault by no means. I mean, they book him that way. I mean, he can't go in and say no. You know, he can say no, but Vince is going to do what Vince is going to do, or whoever's writing that segment is going to do what they want to do. Whoever's booking him. I mean,
yeah, there's
it's not like they're. It's funny because they're like, oh, Cena's burying this one. Cena's burying nobody, man. The company's burying that person. Cena doesn't walk into Vince's office and be like, you know what, I'm gonna bury Kevin Owens this time. You know what I mean?
Like Cena can, well, the outcome aside, then there's lots of ways that a wrestler can bury someone else in the ring by, like, you can go in and they could say, well, you're gonna beat Sandow tonight to Cena, and Cena will say, okay, and he can go out and do 2 things. He can either go out there and make Sandow look strong in a loss, or you can go out there and just wipe the floor with him and make him look like even more of a chump. And to Cena's credit, I will say, even when he beats these like the laundry list of people you just announced, he always tries to make them look strong in the match, like with a lot of false finishes and letting the crowd kind of lean towards, wow, this guy's actually going to beat Cena. So he tries his best, like, because that's not the booking department. That's Cena and that guy putting that match together, and Cena going, well, I can make you look. You're going to lose, but I'm going to try the best I can to make you look good. Or like I said, there's lots of times a lot of wrestlers just go out there and bury the damn guy and pretty much mop the floor with him. So,
I mean, Sami Zayn against Cena.
Well, that's a perfect example, right?
Like, Sami Zayn looked fucking phenomenal in that match. Kevin Owens, all the times Kevin Owens lost to John Cena, he looked phenomenal in those matches. You know what I mean? Almost that whole U.S. title open invitational thing was amazing, man. Yeah. I thought all those matches were excellent. Most of them, anyway. Even when he took on like Zack Ryder and these people, like, the matches seemed like there's points in that match when you can almost believe that Zack Ryder was going to beat John Cena because John Cena was making it seem like that. So we had some technical difficulties.
There's always technical difficulties in the first 2 or 3 podcasts.
So yeah, anyway, going back to Raw, I guess we got on a bit of a tangent with the first match, the first part of it there about the whole AJ Styles thing. But
that always happens. That's what I mean. But what I got to do is
who deserves the challenge.
I got to learn to, like, I don't know. We'll have to learn, like, to. Because what I do is once I get on a topic, because you get people that need to understand that not everybody's huge wrestling fans, so I don't have an opportunity to talk to people about wrestling, like, a lot in depth, of course. So when I get on a topic, I kind of lose track of time because it's only like really time I get to talk about it besides just messaging you or something. So I kind of get lost. When it comes to time, I just start going ballistic, kind of thing.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point of it. I mean, it's us getting our wrestling talk.
It's just that
we just need to get it off our chest, and we need to talk about wrestling, or we're gonna blow up because we don't have anybody else to talk to about. So.
No, but the issue is, like, we're 55 minutes in and we got one topic going.
Well, we've been on Skype for 55 minutes.
So sorry, everybody.
Only 40.
Sorry. Well, I just extended my apologies to the half a listener that we got.
the 2 guys.
That one half a person. Alright, so yeah, the Miz thing, they're going with a 4-way. I don't think we can talk about that, do we? Because that's obvious.
But who do you think wins it, let's say they're going to have a 4-way at Extreme Rules. I think it's going to be a 4-way ladder match.
I don't know what.
They always seem to do the ladder matches for the IC title, don't they? Like that's.
I know. Like I'm sick of that. Like I kind of sick of it. To be honest. That's like taboo. Everyone loves ladder matches, and everyone gets like so excited for ladder matches. But I can't be the only person in the world that's like, oh, it's an IC title match with more than 2 people. Bring in the ladder. Like it's just so.
Why don't you do you know what would be good for that match? A 4-way cage match.
Yeah, they haven't done that in like 20 years.
Yeah, that's what I think they should do. That, man, that would change it up a bit.
Or even
they got Money in the Bank coming up now soon. That's going to be like 2 ladder matches there. That's
not even. Yeah, they can't, and they just had one at Mania too. So, but you when you think about the 4-ways, it's always like sudden death. So the first person that gets pinned, or the first time someone gets a pinfall, they win. Jesus, I'd be happy enough with even like an old school one where it's like single elimination. So if you get pinned, you walk away and leave, and it comes down to just 2 guys. Like they don't even do that much. Like they do it sometimes, but
well, I just figure where it's Extreme Rules, they're gonna have some kind of like Extreme Rules match. It's gonna have some stipulation. It can't be just. Well, I suppose it can be just a 4-way, but I mean that's not really Extreme Rules. It's just a 4-way match.
But that is But it is then these days. That's extreme these days. Fucking.
Yeah.
4-way match.
Yeah,
like that's extreme. Yeah, they should do something. I don't know. Like I agree with you. They should do like a cage or. The only thing is they're so predictable because usually now they don't do cage matches unless the storyline is someone's been interfering the whole time and the cage is there to stop someone from getting in. Like that's usually when they do that. Like the cage wouldn't really make any sense for these guys because really like.
What else they do though? They're not going to do a cage.
I like the idea of a cage. No, I like the idea of a cage match.
They already
just
got
because,
the I Quit match with Natty and Charlotte, so that's
Jesus.
The stipulation there.
Yeah, I don't know. They're going to do something, but I'm honestly.
They should have an Inferno match. Bring in Kane to have a 5-way Inferno match.
What are you talking? You can't just bring Kane in to have a 5-way Inferno match.
Or bring back
match.
Bring back Great Khali and have an old Punjabi prison match.
But I think Punjabi prison match was like 5 stars, wasn't it?
He didn't even wrestle in it. You know that, right? Like I don't know. This is the time period when I didn't really watch wrestling. Was happening? But I read about it after. And apparently, they made up the Punjabi prison match for him against Undertaker. I think it was him against Undertaker. And whatever happened, he couldn't even wrestle, so they just put the Big Show in there.
Well, I remember watching him versus. Well, I guess it was Undertaker Big Show. I know Big Show got involved somehow.
Yeah,
but that was like there was a bad time for wrestling there. Like there was some good stuff happening, but like I don't know, it was 2006 or 7ish when like when they had Punjabi prison matches, and like DX came back again for like when they were like 50 and they were trying to act like 14-year-olds and stuff, and they were like shitting on Vince McMahon. They were dropping shit on his face and stuff, and I was like, alright. Like there was that whole time period, which is kind of great for me too. I still watched it, but I wasn't as into it.
When they had the Spirit Squad.
All right, so okay, well that's a good idea. So AJ's not going to win the belt, and the Miz is going to have a 4-way Intercontinental title match and a Punjabi prison match. We've settled that.
Yeah.
Can
you imagine?
The next one is. Well, I don't think it's a bad idea. I mean, it's better than some of the stuff they've been doing lately. I would roll with it. I don't even understand where is Dean Ambrose? What happened there? Did I miss something? Because Dean Ambrose was on Raw last week, wasn't he? He came and he had a promo with Stephanie.
Jericho hit him with the plant. So Stephanie took away the Ambrose Asylum and gave Jericho
I see
reel, and then Jericho hit him with a plant. So
hold on, I know this. I'm saying I watched Raw. I seen the part where I texted you and I said the big angle. Jericho just hit someone with a plant. That's like the big thing.
Yeah.
But I know. So last week on Raw, how's it any different than anybody else that got attacked? So why don't they put where's Kevin Owens? Where's Sami Zayn?
Apparently,
where's everybody?
According to this, Dean Ambrose has not been seen or heard of from since. So he killed him with the plant.
Oh, I know where he is. He's hanging out with Ozzy Osbourne because Ozzy's missing too.
Yeah, well, because Ozzy's cheating on his wife.
Yeah, but he's gone missing, so him and Ambrose are hanging
out, making out with old hairdressers. But no.
Oh, Sharon's gonna find both of them.
Chuffy, his PB.
Oh, friggin' what's his face? What's the
Yamaguchi-san?
Yeah, Yamaguchi-san. Jesus. So it's going to be like a 5-way match at Extreme Rules with Ozzy Osbourne, Yamaguchi-san, Dean Ambrose, Sharon, and Kane's going to be the referee. It's going to be the Inferno match.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Dean Ambrose, I don't understand. So he got hit with a. So this speaks to wrestling these days.
We're reading this off. Hold on now. We're reading this off of WWE.com, by the way.
I know, like, yeah, but if we're gonna go by the program, we might as well go by the official program, which is apparently where's Dean Ambrose. So all it takes these days. So I'm pretty sure Mick Foley, when he got thrown off the cell, came back on Raw next night. I'm pretty sure.
Well, look at Shane. Shane jumped off the cage jumped off the Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania. He was back the next night.
Yeah. So Dean Ambrose. By the way, this looks good on Ambrose, doesn't it? Because nothing beats a crazy lunatic that can be taken out by a plant. Wow, that's good story writing for you. I'm so crazy. Please don't hit me with this plant because I'll disappear for 3 weeks. Like, it's just absolutely... Okay, so that's part of the storyline to me.
Yeah, well...
Is Charlotte...
According to this, it says, this attack seems to have, at least momentarily, sidelined the unstable superstar. So, getting hit with a fake potted plant has sidelined Dean Ambrose, apparently.
What a loose cannon. You know what? After I can't believe he didn't win the WWE title from Triple H. Like... But you know what he needs? You know where he should be? If in all honesty, you know where that guy should be over the last week? In a gym, because that's where he needs to be. Because he looks like he looks like me. Like he's got no definite. Like the guy needs to go to the gym, work out.
Yeah,
or
he
something.
looks like a pretty normal guy. He doesn't really have.
No, so hopefully
he looks like a fuller. He honestly looks like somebody we went to high school with.
I know he doesn't even look as big as half people we went to high school with. So he's on the missing list apparently, which is just a horrible storyline. I mean, let's call a spade here and just agree that that's a horrible storyline. I don't even know that doesn't even make any sense. He got hit with a plant and he's disappeared and whatever. Charlotte running scared. Okay.
So you heard about what Bret Hart said about this, right?
Well, Bret Hart's, first of all, we need to address him. He's out of control. What is going on with that guy? Like, he's I know he just got over cancer and he's probably on some meds or something. But what is he saying? Like every time he has that, what is it called? A sharp. I never listened to it yet, but
I haven't listened to it yet either. But he's
got a podcast.
I see snippets of it online.
Well, I can't listen to it because he always sounds like he got to clear his throat.
Oh, yeah.
So when I'm listening to him, he's like, I'm thinking to myself, just go like, clear it, just clear your throat, please. But anyway, what you're gonna have to be more specific, man, because when you said have you heard what Bret Hart said, that basically means like which one? Because every 2 days he comes out and says something that's absolutely hilarious or out of control or whatever it is. Well, which one are you talking about?
Well, I find it funny that so about this whole Montreal screw job rehash again, what they did with Charlotte and Natalia.
You can't say they're not original.
Said it was stale and unoriginal. Okay, so. It is stale and unoriginal, obviously.
Yes, but that's the best part. Is like
he's involved with this storyline. Like he was there when it happened.
He did.
He's the only reason
was he?
Happening.
Was he really there?
So why did he even agree to it in the first place?
He didn't even look like he wanted to be there. He looked like he was actually being held hostage. Like the man had no interest in being there. He was stand up at ringside, and it looked like seriously someone had a gun to his head, and it was like you need to sit here and smile because he did not. He said that he went there just because like. For Natty, I don't know. The question I got is, where's Jim Knight? How would she go get her actual dad to be in his corner? Because she's acting like Bret's her dad. Natty, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know how to do stuff in Calgary. Bret Hart's not your dad. He's, like, I know that you think he is, but Jim Neidhart is your dad. And the last time I checked, he's on Total Divas, and he can walk and stuff. Bret Hart can hardly walk because man just had surgery. Like, wouldn't it have made more sense? Because I'm sorry, I did question for you here. This might be preposterous. Isn't Ric Flair Charlotte's dad?
Yeah.
So wouldn't it make more sense and especially because he's a wrestler, for Charlotte or for Natty to go get her dad? What's Bret Hart even do?
Who was Bret Hart's tag team champion?
The storyline right itself. So instead of doing that, he goes out and gets Bret Hart basically off the hospital bed. The guy hasn't even been able to walk for like the last 4 weeks. He don't want to be there. Sorry for the technical difficulties once again. Yeah, so anyway, we went through all that stuff. I don't know why she's running scared. Like, whatever, man.
I mean, they're putting off good matches. I like watching them.
What is this? But this is a wrestling podcast. I just realized we're supposed to talk about this because it's a wrestling podcast, but like, life's too short to talk about this because it makes no sense. Like, I don't understand what's going on here. They're waiting for Natty's placeholder for Sasha Banks. We all know that. Like, they want Sasha to win the belt.
Natty deserves it, but I don't know if she's going to get it.
Another thing that they stopped doing the last like 10 years is all these B pay-per-views and Raw, nothing big ever happens anymore. We all know when the titles are going to change hands. It's either going to be the Rumble, SummerSlam, or Mania. And all the feuds are built up for the next big thing, where it's Sasha Banks in the women's division, whether it's Reigns at WrestleMania, whether it was Bryan at WrestleMania. They build up someone and you know they're going to win it at the big show. Whatever happened to the days when Jericho beat Triple H on Raw for the belt? Whatever happened to the days when Rock and Austin swapped title belts at like Backlash or something? Like, we all know where this is going. Sasha Banks is going to come back and she's going to win. She's going to win the belt at SummerSlam from Charlotte. We know this is going to happen, and I love Sasha Banks, but it takes away from it for me because I know it's going to happen. Right? I'm like, well, we know where this is going. We all know that Sasha Banks is taking the belt at SummerSlam from Charlotte. This kills me. It just kills my enjoyment of it because I know that I know too much about wrestling, and people are probably sitting there right now going, well, it's not WWE's fault that you basically psychoanalyze wrestling. Stop paying so much attention to it, and maybe you will be surprised. And that could be true. But I know what's going to happen. SummerSlam. Same thing with like Triple H and Shane. You know it's going to be SummerSlam. It makes my interest in the product over those 2-3 months in between big shows really wane, because I'm like, well, I know nothing big is going to happen. Like, you do know that we could tune out now till like end of July and pretty much not
and
miss
maybe
anything.
They need to start like making some big changes at these shows. I mean, they used to do it back in the day. I mean, how many times like did we watch Raw and the title changed hands on Raw? I mean, Mick Foley won his first title on Raw, like his first world title.
Of course he did. Kane beat Austin on Raw for his first belt too, man. Like, this is stuff that it was an Inferno match, wasn't it? No, first. Anyway, Kane beat Austin. No, it was King of the Ring, but Austin won the belt back from Kane on Raw. But anyway, yes, it used to happen all the time.
I mean, they used to have the in your houses. They were kind of like the little in between shows, and titles used to change all the times. All the time. Like IC title and US title, that shit changes every now and then on Raw, but there's never a world title change on Raw, and a woman's title change for that matter. It lasts a little while. I think the last time was maybe like when Paige debuted against AJ Lee night after WrestleMania a couple years back. She won the Divas title or whatever. Yeah, it might have been the last big one I remember happening.
True enough. Well, I don't know. I agree. It kills it a little bit for me.
What the hell is this?
Just like
Rusev is going to devour Kalisto's big hurt?
Well, what happened was Ryback has been pushed out the door, and he was always getting fed. So now that Ryback's gone, or almost gone, Rusev's the new hungry guy. He's going to start eating people's hearts, apparently.
He's going to
it says here
devour.
Well, he was on. Well, that's what he said. He's on with Cole on that weekly interview sit down crap that Cole does, and he said Michael Cole asked him, no matter how much bigger you are or how much stronger you are, you do know that Kalisto's won his matches because he has such a big heart. That's what he said. And then Rusev, who was actually comical in it because he was being himself, he actually said, alright, I'm watching Natty put a sharpshooter on Flair from, I guess this is last week. I'm sorry, I'm sidetracked here. What the hell is this? Oh my god. Flair just puked in the ring? I think he's just... Anyway, the whole storyline is now that
it's because he's drunk.
Rusev likes eating hearts, I guess. So, but he doesn't talk with an accent anymore. He drops his accent.
Oh, really?
But Lana talks with her
accent.
accent.
That's kind of weird, isn't it? Isn't he supposed to be Bulgarian?
He just dropped it. He just dropped his accent overnight. Like, he talks like...
Isn't his whole thing that he's the Bulgarian brute? Shouldn't he talk with...
Not anymore.
Bulgarian accent, then?
No, yeah, well, yes, but yes. I don't really know what to say. He has no accent.
You remember when Lana was with Dolph Ziggler and then she lost her accent for a while?
And then she got it back again, which makes no sense. Yes, I do remember when she had no accent. Alright, so unfortunately for everybody that's looking forward to Raw tonight, you can tell we're kind of in the middle of the summer or heading towards the summer because there's not a lot. Like, this is the WWF trying to sell this show right now, and this is all they got to talk about, which is kind of scary because what we just discussed is not exactly intense, is it?
No.
There's not a lot. There's not a lot that makes me go, I better cancel my plans on a Monday night. I better cancel that hot date I got tonight and stay home for.
No, it's not really a must-see TV, but
the AJ Styles thing, we've been through that. Miz, like, this is what, but the funny part is, like I said, this is what they're promoting for tonight. It's kind of sad because there's not one thing right here that grabs me.
Well, that's I mean, it's not must-see TV. It's not like isn't that Attitude Era kind of stuff going on here, right?
What else is going on? Quickly, we can get to Ryback thing. That's a hot topically. I mean, he's basically standing up to WWE. Is basically what he's doing, like kind of like CM Punk or Bret Hart did or someone. But the only problem is he's a jobber.
Yeah, he's not.
I don't know if Ryback's got some kind of self-importance going on. He thinks he's something that he's not. I'm pretty sure he's delusional. He probably should be checked to a freaking mental clinic, man, because the guy has never been anything special. I appreciate the fact that he wants to be something special. He's obviously has drive to be. He wants to be a big-time superstar. But he's just not right now, anyway. I don't think he's in any position to be making demands towards
it's kind of ridiculous that he wants his own tour bus. I mean, yeah, some of the guys got him, but these guys are like Undertaker and John Cena and...
Yeah, well, and Primo and the Cologne Brothers, they have their own bus.
Who's that?
The Cologne Brothers, or whatever their names are. They have their own tour bus.
The Colognes? Yeah.
Who are they? But
theirs is like Puerto Rico paid for, man. The old Puerto Rican government paid for that, for the tourism.
Yeah, but they'd have one anyway, wouldn't they? They're big stars, man.
Huge.
Wow. Ryback is just...
I think the Big Show has his own tour bus as well. He was on Steve Austin's podcast talking about it.
So,
but I think his is actually, he bought his own, as far as I understand. He bought his own, like...
that felt like a lot of money.
No, it wasn't not so much a tour bus. I think it's like a big Winnebago, like a big, camper.
Yeah.
Because, well, it makes sense. He explained, like, he's a big guy, obviously. Like, Big Show's huge. To stick that guy in a plane for 12 hours, it's friggin' uncomfortable. I mean, he's 500 pounds and, like, 7 foot. I mean, can you imagine him I'm uncomfortable enough as it is on a plane traveling for 9 or 10 hours. I'm going to imagine the size of him.
Hold on a second. To anybody out there that don't know who you are, or if you ever listen to the show, you don't realize you're like 400 pounds and bald, baby. Like, I don't know. You're trying to fool everybody.
I can assure you I'm not 400 pounds.
And bald.
Well, bald has nothing to do with it, really, but I'm not bald either.
Hey, 400 pounds bald. Okay, well, what? 350. We'll leave it at that.
No.
350.
But you know what I mean? Like, there's no reason why Ryback can't fly or travel like anybody else.
But there's no reason why it should be happening.
One of the things he wants them to pay for his hotel room. I can understand that because apparently Dave Meltzer saying that most all sports, the companies pay for their hotel rooms. I think wrestling's the only one.
My job pays for hotel rooms when I go down. Yeah, but the thing is when they're independent contractors. So when Ryback signed his deal 3-4 years ago, then he knew what the deal was. So this is one of those situations again where if he didn't like the deal, then he shouldn't have taken it. But I don't know. I kind of find it.
His deal's up, and he wants to sign a new one, and he's saying that on this new deal he wants more money, and he wants this, and he wants that, and Vince is like, no. So,
would you give it to him?
No.
Exactly.
I'd probably pay for his hotel room. Maybe. I mean, that's not that big a deal.
You can't pay for. It is because once you pay for his hotel room, then you got to pay for everybody. You can't just pay for one guy's hotel room. So now McMahon, over the last 20 years, has never paid for a hotel room. All of a sudden, he's paying for every single night, every single wrestler sit in a hotel room because, unfortunately, the way it works is once one guy gets it, everybody else wants it. And Ryback's even a jobber, so imagine the stars are definitely going to come and take advantage of that. I don't agree with any. I think Vince should just tell him to fuck off. Like, he's not even lost. Nobody even cares about this guy, man.
Nah,
like,
he could leave tomorrow.
He's a jobber.
He could leave tomorrow, and nobody would even bat an eye. Who? I wouldn't lose any sleep over it or nothing.
No, like, are you going to be like, oh no, are you going to be run down the street, feed me more and all? Do you walk to the store and be like, feed me? No, nobody cares about Ryback.
The thing is,
it's ridiculous.
Like, a lot of these guys think that they're bigger than the business. I think the wrestling business is bigger than anybody. Doesn't matter who you are. The biggest stars in the history of pro wrestling: Hulk Hogan, Austin, The Rock, all these people came and went, and guess what? The business is still there. If John Cena left tomorrow, guess what? Pro wrestling doesn't stop. It's still going to stick around. Like, nobody's bigger than the business. And I think that's what the deal is. I think he thinks that, like, he's a huge part of this business and a huge part of the success of WWE right now, and they can't do it without him. Well, and that's bullshit. They obviously can do it without him, and then they could let him go tomorrow and nobody would give a shit. Somebody just take his place. Maybe
he's delusional, man. I can be honest with you. He's totally delusional.
Well, somebody's going to take his place
the
instantly.
Thing is, so I was reading... and the thing is, it's different too, because he was talking about the winners and losers getting paid differently in a predetermined sport. But that's because they all have contracts, and you're just like if you're a sports athlete. Example, Wayne Gretzky made more money than Tim Smith or something because he was a bigger star, and you make more money. So these guys are on. Like I was reading I never listened to it, but I was reading the Bret Hart thing, and he was talking about how back in the day it was totally different because you didn't have contracts with a set amount every year. You got paid for where you were on the card, right? So if you were champion, or if you were in the championship feud, then you made the most money. And if you were IC, you made the next one. And if you were US title, you made the next one. And if you were a jobber, you made nothing. But it's not like that anymore. Now it's like set contracts. No matter where you are in the card. Like Ryback could not even wrestle this year, and he'd still make the same amount of money as if he wrestled every single pay-per-view. Because he just gets paid a set amount. So the whole idea of him, I'm pretty sure he says that everybody should be getting paid the same. Everybody, and then you just make your extra money off merchandise. Is that what he said?
Yeah. Well, basically, he's saying that like everybody should get paid a base salary. So no matter if you're not on the pay, I think his big deal is he's sour because he's not getting his pay-per-view money.
Do you think that he actually thinks that he should be getting paid the same base salary as someone like John Cena? Man, you gotta be fucking shitting me. Like if that's what's going through his head, then he's delusional. I mean, and even CM Punk and all of them, they're all delusional in a way because CM Punk was a big star, but he was never John Cena. So, I mean, all these guys that want all these big chances and everything, like, at the end of the day, man, like you said earlier, it's not John Cena's fault that he beats everybody. He's the star. He's the one that makes all the money for the company. Like, what do you want people... Like, if you're a businessman, like Vince, what are you going to do? You're going to start pushing... Like, I don't get it, really. Wrestling's very, very, like, political, right? Like, behind the scenes, and it kind of confuses me sometimes. Like, to me, it's really black and white. There's no gray area. Everybody knows who the big stars are. Now, granted, I think Punk could have been huge if he never got killed by Kevin Nash and Triple H in that feud for some reason. We'll get into that another day. But, like, he wanted the same thing, like, the big spots and everything. And he should have had his one chance, but at the end of the day, man, Cena's going to make the most money, and he's going to have the spotlight most of the time. Would you disagree with Cena not having a spotlight? Like, I don't get it. Of course he's going to have the spotlight, but he's the biggest star in the company.
Well, he's bringing in the most viewership. He's bringing in the most
exactly
the merchandise. He's bringing in the casual fans. He's
on the Today Show this morning.
Yeah,
he's co-hosting the Today.
They can put him on these shows. He's the Make-A-Wish champion and all this stuff.
He doesn't have sex tapes. He's not out calling people friggin' racial slurs. Like, I mean, he's pretty much, like they've said before, poster boy or whatever.
Yeah,
he is.
He's marketable. Simple
as
that.
So, I mean, like, Ryback is the same as... The difference is like, CM Punk was a big star. And his gripe with the WWE was along the same kind of lines as Ryback's. But the difference is that CM Punk was champion for like 500 straight days, man. I mean, he was the biggest star behind Cena at the time. Who the hell is Ryback?
Well, can you see Ryback on like the Today Show? Like nobody's going like, who the hell is this goon on the Today Show? Like nobody cares.
Well, anybody that knows anything about wrestling will think it's Goldberg, wouldn't they?
And then like, can you see Ryback being in a movie? Like a major Hollywood movie now. Like, can you see now starring Ryback, or even in like a bit part? You'd be like, what the hell is Ryback doing? Or what? You know what I mean?
It makes no sense.
He's not marketable. He's not. Yeah, he's got Feed Me More, and I'm the big guy or the bad, or whatever the hell he's called. Like
bad guy or big guy or something. I don't know what he's gonna call me.
Yeah. So whatever. Like
he tried to trademark like the big guy.
Yeah, he tried to trademark a bunch of his stuff before WWE got hold of it.
Trademark it. If you're WWE, but like, go ahead and trademark it. It sucks anyway. Like, I don't know. So I guess that's Raw's coming on in like 10 minutes. We've bantered, we've complained, we didn't complain as much as normal, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, it's been getting better the last few weeks. I mean, there was a while back there when I couldn't even stand it. We were just spending like hours talking to each other.
I don't want to be a negative Nancy,
totally shitting on it. We're like, this sucks. Fuck this. Why are we even fans? Like, who cares?
Well, I did go last week. Like I said, I did turn off Raw and I went to bed. I just could not. I don't know. Apparently, it was a decent Raw, according to some people. I mean, maybe I'm just.
I don't know.
Something.
It was the same. We talked about it before. It was the last segment saved the show kind of deal.
That's it. But the thing is that means I gotta have the patience to sit through 3 hours of horse shit just so I can see 10 minutes of entertainment, and I'm not willing to do that.
What do you mean? You don't want to see Fandango and Goldust versus R-Truth and Tyler Breeze again? Like
Vince Russo's coming back to book next pay-per-view, and they're going to have selfie stick on a twig match up on a pole, and it's going to be.
You're going to have a selfie stick on a pole match, so it'll basically be a pole on a pole match.
No, the pole's going to be made out of tree branch wood, and
it's going to be a cell phone at the top of it.
Yeah, so it's going to be the selfie stick on a twig match. And then you got to go up, and the first person to go up get the. But you don't just have to grab the cell phone. You actually got to take the cell phone and take a selfie. And then once you take a selfie, you win the match. That's good. That's Vince. You hear before we go? I just want to say because I only got 2 seconds because I got to get moving. But did you hear that Vince Russo thought Sami Zayn should be a cab driver? You hear that?
What?
Vince Russo was on some interview or something,
and
he said that Sami Zayn was a good wrestler, but he had no character. He's like, I don't even know who this guy is. He just comes out and wrestles and smiles. Like, he just dances his way to the ring, smiles with his happy music, and gets in and wrestles. Usually he loses by the way WWE's booking him. And then he leaves again. He's like, eventually he's just going to wear the steam. Anyway, he said he should be a cab driver gimmick, where it turns out that because he wears that kind of hat and stuff, he's like, why doesn't he come out and... He was serious, and he was like, his whole gimmick will be that he moved to New York City, even though he's clearly Canadian. He moved to New York City from like France somewhere, and even though he's Canadian, and he tried to become a cab driver. It was his lifelong dream to become a cab driver, and he failed at that. He couldn't. So let me get this straight: you want to just get behind a guy who can't even be a cab driver, which a nutless monkey can be a cab driver. But so this guy couldn't even be a cab driver, so he became a wrestler, and now he's a disgruntled cab driver. That's what Vince Russo.
I guess that's why Vince Russo is not writing for Raw anymore.
Can you imagine? So you know who I'm going to buy a T-shirt for? A guy that couldn't even hack it as a cab driver. Wow, isn't that a good role model for all? Hey, Mom, I love that guy. He couldn't even be a cab driver. I want to be just like him.
Yeah.
What? He couldn't. Fuck. But anyway.
All right.
Well, enjoy Raw tonight.
Oh well, I'll try. Hopefully, it's good.
I'm gonna be switching over again because the Raptors are on again tonight. So go Raptors, and I don't know. I guess we'll talk next Monday or probably sometime later this week or something. And then
so we'll I'll put this up tomorrow, hopefully, and we'll try to do it again the next few days.
Yeah, if anybody's still around at the end of this podcast, like an hour later, then all those technical difficulties and the minor things that you would expect from any startup kind of podcast or anything will hopefully be fixed.
Yeah,
in the next 2 or 3 tries.
We'll work it all out. It'll all come in time. We'll have it.
Like the only reason why my internet slows down is something because I'm watching porn at the same time as I'm doing this.
We're gonna have an intro done hopefully sometime this week, and we're gonna hopefully have a logo done for the Shout Engine hosting.
Yes, moving on. Moving on up, aren't we? Moving up fast too. We're getting pushed harder than Ryback.
I wants me on tour bus. God damn it!
You've only been on podcast for going on 3 hours now. I wants to make more money than John Cena and the Undertaker combined. All right. On that note, we'll talk to you in a few days, fella.
All right. See you later.
See you, bud.